Good morning. I'm here at the Copper Box Arena in Stratford, East London, on a very chilly morning. It's the second day of TechCrunch and I'm going to head inside and check out the startup alley.
What we offer is the first and only fully autonomous drone-based service platform. What does it mean? It is fully autonomous. It means there are no humans involved anymore. So it's all automated via one interface, one PC, and all done via a cloud-based service. Okay? We don't supply hardware. We don't focus on that. There's a lot of suppliers, if you look around, there's a lot of gadgets and drones and being supplied. You can see on the fair over here. So we're not focusing on that. We will partner with these people, and what we will supply is the glue between several different hardware systems. So our platform can work with different types of drones from different manufacturers, can work with different ground vehicles from different manufacturers, and they can work together, which makes it very flexible. And it can be a game changer on the level of heavy human intensive labor these days, unsafe labor, and it will be more interesting for the logistics industry, because a lot of these people are offering their drones and they are focusing on a consumer market, and they will integrate the camera, which is nice for us to buy and to make some nice pictures in the park. But what we do is, by integrating it, we make it interesting for the professional world, for the industry. We have some partners that are really, some companies that are partnering up with us or having a pilot project with us now. One of them that I can mention is the PostNL. We are doing a pilot project at the moment to do changes to their sorting center. As you know, the holiday period is coming, and during the holiday period there's a lot of parcels, packages that are being sent out, but they cannot just be flexible and increase their production and afterwards decrease it again. It's not possible. Well, if you take away the fixed systems they have now and you change that with our system, a combination of drones and a combination of ground vehicles, you can be very flexible, and it's full autonomous, so it also makes it faster and more secure. So that is what we are offering today. What I didn't mention about our software is that very important, it is a unique multi-patent technology. At this moment we have 85 patents which are pending for approval. We have close communication with the patent office, and most of these patents are completely unique. So it means that most of them by the end of the year will all be approved. So that's very important. Next to that, we can disrupt really the human-intensive, labor-intensive industries, which I just mentioned. We have large industrial customers which are interested. The PostNL, which we have a pilot project with, is one of them. It's one of the top 5 postal services in the world. We have a strong multifunctional team. Our team exists of a lot of professional people from all over the world. It makes it amazing to work in. We have 2 of the largest companies behind us, which are IBM and Microsoft, to support us on the data. And we have global investors all over the world. And then a very important slide that I want to show you is this one, because I talked to you about the logistic market, the postal services, but actually we can go much further than that. Our platform is not only for that purpose. We are focusing on that mainly to initiate in the market and to start. But if you look at the world as it is today, there are much more markets. For example, the maritime market, shipping market. You can use a lot of drones to, for example, have an overview of their stock of their containers in their shipyards. If you look at surveillance, fires, forest fires, nuclear disasters, now people have to go in, which is dangerous, it's unsafe. We can change that to drones, and they can do it fully autonomous, scan the full area, give the feedback. And there's much more markets out there. On surveillance you have border protection, you have, name it, it's actually unlimited.
TechCrunch London is coming to a close now. It's been a really interesting couple of days, and I've had the chance of meeting some pretty amazing startups on all sorts of different kind of areas around fintech, health and biocare, and so on. There have been some fantastic startups that have exhibited over the last couple of days. I just thought I'd talk about a couple of the main themes that kind of really stood out to me. Definitely a lot going on around AI and machine learning. There were just so many startup companies doing some really fascinating stuff with AI and machine learning, and that came across in the hackathon as well over Saturday and Sunday. There were a lot of hacks that came out utilizing any sort of AI stuff, and obviously IBM were one of the sponsors of the event. They opened up their Watson API to allow hackers to develop stuff using that, so that was something that really came out to me. I'm not too aware of a lot of the biotech stuff that's going on, but I found a lot of that fascinating, and there was a talk by Open Biotics, actually a panel that went on earlier today. So today's Tuesday, so earlier today there was a talk by Open Biotics, and they were talking about 3D printing and actually using 3D printers to actually print limbs, and how that could be a great way and potentially a cheaper way for people with kind of certain handicaps to get prosthetic limbs. So that was an amazing use of technology for a great cause, and that just it seemed amazing that one of the chaps that came onto the stage who had a prosthetic arm, it was actually an Adam Jensen type biotic arm from the game Deus Ex, which was amazing. And obviously his vision is to kind of get it to a point where you can actually have different arms for different days. And as a kid, as a gamer, the guy was talking a lot about how maybe one day he wants to have an Adam Jensen arm, but another day maybe he wants to have an Iron Man arm. So that was just amazing, just kind of seeing what's going on in that space. There was a lot of other things, some other companies talking about, I think it was Oxy Health talking about how they can do patient monitoring in hospitals in a much more modern way. At the moment, nurses kind of do their rounds every 4 hours, and they're going to be using kind of monitoring and different technologies via video cameras to actually monitor their patients. So that was a really interesting thing. There was also quite a lot around robotics, and today there was obviously Hardware Alley. So there was a lot of focus around different hardware stuff, and one of the companies exhibiting there was Unmanned Life, I think it was called, and I recorded a little bit about them. But they're all about powering drones to do a lot of the automated stuff, and potentially scaling up at times when companies need them. And we're approaching Christmas period now, so it's obviously really interesting to hear about how potentially companies could scale up for commercial activity, but not necessarily have to scale up their manufacturing for that. So not necessarily having to add a lot of manual labor to it, but they can kind of take care of it with automated drones and intelligent software powering that. So that was really interesting for me to see. There were a couple of just cool things. There was a guy who is obviously really keen on motorbiking, and he had built a prototype helmet which had a camera in the back, so that basically gave them really good vision, but it used the heads-up display, so as they're riding they kind of get a bit of an electronic display, almost like something like out of Google Glass or something like that, but they can also link that up with software from their smartphones, so you can actually see useful information. You can see maybe contact information, you can see navigation information, or you can just see other notifications that might pop up and stuff like that. So that was a really interesting use of technology there, and I'd love to actually see that go out in the market. I was a bit disappointed that Google Glass is no more, but yeah, it's really interesting to see that there is still stuff going on kind of in that area. There were a lot of other bits and bobs that was really interesting, and I kind of recorded a few bits here and there. I actually just finished up a talk about Facebook for the workplace. Interesting that they changed the name, which was originally I think Facebook at Work, to now Facebook for the workplace. And yeah, that's obviously quite interesting. I've used tools like Yammer, Slack and so on in the past. Personally, I'm a little skeptical about it, but interesting to see where it goes at the same time. And I've heard they've got quite a few big clients already at the moment, but interesting to see where that goes and how that develops over time. So yeah, really interesting to see where that goes. On the whole, it's been great. A massive thank you to TechCrunch themselves. Their staff have been so helpful. I was volunteering over the course of the event, and everyone made me feel super welcome. All of the exhibitors were great as well. I went around and spoke to a fair few. So many I didn't get a chance to speak to, unfortunately, just due to of time. But you know, hopefully next year there are a lot more TechCrunch events, so let's hope I can attend some of them and say hi to some of the people that maybe I didn't get to see this year, and say hi to a lot of the new companies as well. But yeah, that's me, that's all for today. Do check out TechCrunch's website. They've obviously got all of the recordings for all of the main sessions on their website, so that's definitely worth a check out.